This is the Dell XPS 13, and hopefully this review will go better than last time. So first, the most iconic feature of the Dell XPS 13, that 13.3-inch bezel-less beautiful display. Our model is equipped with the UHD variant. There is a $300 cheaper FHD display, which is only 1080p and has a matte display, which usually results in duller colors. So we went with the UHD variant, which has a glossy display. We're not sure how color accurate it is, but it is a beautiful screen and it has retina-like quality, meaning you can get to less than an inch away from the screen and still not see a single pixel, except for the 3 dead pixels that arrived on our model because Dell has terrible quality control. That seems to be something across the board recently with the recent order of our other Dell desktop that also came with some sound issues, and that was a design flaw, it turns out, with multiple models being affected. The laptop is equipped with a healthy variety of I/O on the right side of the machine, having an SD card reader along with a USB Type-A 3.0 port and a Kensington lock for you weirdos who lock your laptops down to your desks. On the left side of the machine, we have first the Dell iconic XPS battery checker. Then next to that we have the headphone microphone combo jack, a USB Thunderbolt 3 port, and a second USB Type-A 3.0 port, and your DC power in. The only thing I would love to have seen on this machine is an HDMI port, though Dell does make their own $50 dongle, which is overpriced, but we bought it anyway, and that gives you VGA for you people with ancient displays like our teleprompter, HDMI, a second USB 3.0 port, and Ethernet for you gamers who I do not recommend playing games on this machine because, and that leads us comfortably into the internals of the machine, we have a pretty good processor. We have the probably the bang for the buck version of the laptop. We have the i5 processor, 8 gigs of RAM, and a 256 gigabyte solid state drive. Our version of the machine is not the most powerful variant. You can get it with a i7 processor, 12 gigs of RAM, or actually up to 16 gigs of RAM, and a 500 gigabyte SSD, but ours was the value option. As we looked, it would cost us about $1,300, whereas it would have been almost $2,000 for the fully spec'd out version of the laptop, and it's pretty fast. It's not the fastest machine in the world, but it is incredibly fast still. It is the fastest laptop I have ever booted up because of that 256 gigabyte SSD, which really helps to speed up boot just in general on any machine. If it has an SSD inside with Windows on it, that will make your performance much better, and that is why the performance is so great on this computer. Next, the deck. The Dell XPS 13 is a pretty great keyboard. It has a nice feel to it. It's not mushy like the MacBook Pro keyboard, and it doesn't have too much travel. Now onto the trackpad, which is not as impressive as the keyboard. The trackpad, it's okay. It is glass surface, so it feels really nice to use, but it struggles a little bit at times with 2-finger scrolling, especially on smaller windows. So if you have like a screen open at like 25% size of the whole screen, if you have a window open at that size, you will run into issues with 2-finger scrolling, as it can lag at sometimes, it can jitter around at other times, and generally moving your finger across the trackpad, occasionally you run into some tracking issues, but overall it's not a deal breaker, it's not bad. Also, the deck is entirely made of carbon fiber and rubber where the keyboard is, but the transition between the two materials is seamless. They're the exact same color. If you were blind and you ran your finger across the keyboard, you would not be able to tell. They feel exactly the same. They look different, obviously, because you have that cool weave pattern with carbon fiber you don't have with a soft touch plastic. But overall, it's pretty great. Now onto the outside of the machine, which is a aluminum gray finish. It's not like space gray like MacBook Pro. I really like the color. Overall, it's a pretty well-built machine. It's not very rattly. Keyboard flex is not an issue. It's not a major issue. The trackpad, it is pretty solidly built as well. And the screen does not have very much flex, which you wouldn't expect on such an expensive laptop with metal backing. That's more of an issue on lower-end laptops, which are made of plastic, which can easily bend if you sort of do this to them. Overall, the Dell XPS 13, despite its disadvantages like lacking an HDMI port and the fact that ours came with 3 dead pixels, still earns a recommendation from 24/7 News, and it is definitely the best Ultrabook on the market. It's probably the best Windows laptop on the market if you're not into mega gaming and you need your $8,000 laptop that costs as much as the LG wallpaper TV so that you can run Crysis on your laptop in Starbucks. It's not going to do that for you, but it's pretty good for everything else. and it's probably the best laptop out there considering the I/O of the MacBook Pro is, how you say, total garbage. Anyway, that's it for this episode 24/7 News. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and watch more.